So, dito tayo ngayon sa quadratic equations. So, ito naman ay na-take na natin nung high school. So, kaya ito parang review lang natin. So, an equation of the second degree in its variable or variables is called a quadratic equation. So, pansinin, So, second degree. So, meaning, the highest exponent, ng iyong variable ay 2. Okay? An equation of the form or reducible to the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are constants and a is equal to 0 is called a quadratic equation in the variable x. Okay? So, yung ating quadratic equation, ganito ang kanyang general or form niya, So, we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay? So, wherein yung ating a, b, and c ay mga constant, Kumbaga, coefficient yung a and b, tapos yung c natin ay constant. Then, the zeros or values of x when y is equal to 0 of the function are the elements of the solution set of the quadratic equation, which can be found by 3 algebraic methods. Okay? So, ang karaniwan kasi, So, y is equal to f of x, Yung ating equation ay function of x, okay? So, if we're going to set that y into 0, so we have, okay. So, yung ating equation, lalagay na natin ax squared plus bx plus c. In order to solve for the elements or the values of x, so we're going to set the y equal to 0, okay? And we can solve for the solution or elements using 3 algebraic methods, So, unang-una, so we have solution by factoring, then by completing the square, and yung ating pinaka common yung quadratic formula. Siguro alam niyo na to. Alam niyo naman na talaga to kasi naituro na sa atin. So, di ba kapag quadratic formula, meron ng given na formula, then salpa ka na lang ng constants or coefficients. Okay. So, let's start with a solution by factoring. Yung factoring natin nung high school, yun lang din naman ngayon. Okay? So, we have 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. So, if we're going to factor this, okay. So, isip ka ngayon ng factor ng 3 and 2. Okay? So, yung 3, yan ay 3 and 1. Then, yung ating 2, yan ay 2 and 1. Okay, so pwede natin ilagay dito yung 1, then 2 dito. So, kung i-cross mo siya, ang lalabas na sagot ay 3 times 1 is 3, then 1 times 2 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. So, ang nasa gitna natin ay negative daw, negative 5. So, ibig sabihin, okay, so nakuha mo yung nasa gitna na 5. Ngayon, i-evaluate mo kung ano dapat yung maging sign. So, itong negative 3 and negative 2 dapat ay maging negative yung mga value nila para makakuha ka ng negative 5, pag pinag-add mo yan. So, dito, tingnan natin ngayon yung sign, So, yung 3 at 1, hindi mo sila pwedeng gawing negative kasi yung 3 mo ay positive. Therefore, dito ka magbabago sa gitna. Okay, so yung 3 natin, saan mo ba siya multiply? Diba dito sa 1? Then, alin ang pwede mong i-negative? Siyempre, ito na. Okay? Then, itong ating 1, hindi mo rin pwedeng i-negative kasi positive lang yung 3. Okay? So, kung positive dito, dito ka na magbabago ng sign. Okay? So, para makakuha ka ng negative 2, i-negative mo ito. So, 1 times negative 2, negative 2. Okay? So, 1 times negative 3. Kaya lang, tignan mo ngayon sa para dito sa negative 2. Okay? Pansinin mo, Parehas kang negative dyan. So, kung i-multiply mo yan, sabi mo kasi factor ito ng 2 or negative 2. Negative tsaka negative, So, magpa-positive ka na. So, mali yung ating unang try. So, ulit tayo. So, 3 and 1, Then, try nating pagpalitin, So, 1 and 2. Okay, so meron tayo ngayong 3 times 2 is 6. And 1 times 1, 1. So we need 5, ano? Negative 5 dapat ang sagot dito. Okay? So ito, para makuha tayong negative 5, so kita-kita naman, dapat yung negative, yung 6 natin ay negative, tapos positive yung 1. So we have negative 6 plus 1, we have negative 5. So dito, pansinin, parehas positive ulit to, positive, positive. So yung iyong negative 6 saan mo kukunin, di ba dito? Sa 3 and 2. So ang dapat mong i-negative, itong 2. Okay, so we have 3 times negative 2, you have negative 6. Then yung 1 times 1 natin, dapat ay positive. Okay? So ito ngayon, pa-positive mo na ito. Okay, so tama ba? So kung titignan, magkaiba na yung sign. Pag pinag-multiply naman itong dalawa para sa factor ng 2, so negative ka. Okay, positive and negative. Therefore, ang ating factor para dito ay 3x plus 1 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. So ganun ang pagpa-factor, ano? Then, we're going to solve for x. So pansinin, ano? Ang iyong highest degree ay 2. Therefore, dalawa ang iyong value ng x na makukuha. Okay? So, ngayon natin ng hati. So, equate lang natin sila pareha sa 0. So, 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Then, x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? So, solving for x, we transpose 1. So, we have negative 1. Then, we divide both sides by 3. We have now x is equal to negative 1/3. Okay? Then, x minus 2, lipat lang. To solve for x, we have x is equals to 2. Ganun lang kadali. Okay? So, next problem. So, we have x squared minus 4 is equal to 0. So, ito, kung maalala natin, para makakuha tayo ng ganito, so, pansinin, ano? Perfect yung ating, perfect square yung ating 4, ano, di ba? So, nasa, ano natin to, no? Sa mga binomials, ano? So ito, para makakuha tayo ng negative sa gitna, walang x, ano? Wala ka nung variable na x lang. So, ang factor niya, so x plus 2 and x minus 2. Di ba? Ganun yung pagpa-factor nito, ano? Then, same lang, ano? So, equate lang natin 0, then solve for x. So, x plus 2 is equal to 0. So, we have x equals negative 2. Then, x minus 2 is equal to 0. That is equal to 2. Okay? So, paano ngayon kapag ganito ang ating problem? Then, we're supposed to solve this by factoring. No? Sabi kanina, we can solve quadratic equations using factoring. Kaya lang, pansinin natin, ito ay cubic na. No? Okay, so we can factor that equation into one first degree and the other factor is second degree. Okay, so pwede yun, ano? So paano natin gagawin? Okay, so we can apply synthetic divisions or we can divide polynomials or we can use factor theorem. Or we can simply tawag din yung trial and error. So subukan natin, halimbawa x plus 1, di ba? Sabi natin ito isang factor niya. So we divide this equation. Okay? So maraming paraan, ano? So we divide polynomials, ano? So we have x cubed minus 2x squared minus x plus 2. Okay. Then yung ating factor x plus 1. First thing to do, so we divide x cubed by x, ano? So x cubed divided by x, that is x squared. Then we multiply x squared to this factor na x plus 1, ano? So x squared times x, that is x cubed. Then x squared times 1, that is negative, that is positive x squared. Okay, so then we apply subtraction. So magiging negative to, then ito negative din. So we cancel this x cubed, sila ay similar but opposite signs, ano? Then we have negative 3x squared. Okay, then we bring down negative x. So divide ulit. So we have negative 3x squared divided by x, that is negative 3x. Then multiplying negative 3x to x, so we have negative 3x squared times, okay, negative 3x times 1, that is negative 3x. Okay, we apply again subtraction, so ito magiging positive, then ito magiging positive din. So cancel this one, then 3x minus x, that is 2x. Then bring down 2. Now we divide 2x by x. So we have 2x divided by x, that is 2. We multiply now 2x times 2x. We have 2 times x, that is 2x. 2 times 1, that is 2. So by subtraction, okay, magiging negative na rin to. So cancel this one. Also, cancel na rin yun. So 0 ang ating naging remainder. Okay? So kapag ganun, ibig sabihin, tagumpay ka, ano? Tama na ang isang factor mo ay x plus 1. Then, ang another factor mo, syempre, yung naging quotient mo, yung x squared minus 3x plus 2. Therefore, ang iyong isosolve or gagamitin yan, yung naging factor mo. So, x plus 1, then we have x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, equate pa rin natin yung 0. Kaya lang, pansinin, yung isang mong factor ay naka-quadratic. Pero, pwede mo nang applyan ng factoring. So, hatiin lang natin, ano? So, pwede na ngayon natin. So, sulat na natin ulit, x plus 1. Then, we can factor this 1. So, kung i-factor natin yan, madali na lang sa atin. So, we have positive sa gitna, sa dulo, then negative sa gitna. So, more likely, ang kanyang factor ay x minus 2 and x minus 1. Okay? So kapag lagi kang nagsosolve, nagpa-factor, so isang tingin mo sa equation, kaya mo nang ma-factor. At sa isang tingin din, malalaman mo kung yung equation ay can be solved by factoring. Okay? So ngayon, ito yung ating lumabas na factors. Tatlo, ano? Pansinin, tatlo yung i-equate natin sa 0. So we have x plus 1 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, then x minus 1 is equal to 0. So solving, transposing 1 here, so we have x is equal to negative 1. So here we have x is equal to 2. We transpose negative 2 to the right, so positive na siya ngayon, kaya x is equal to 2. Then x minus 1, so transpose negative 1, so we have x is equal to positive 1. So ito yung ating elements or roots. Okay. Okay. So, pwede rin naman kung ayaw mo nung polynomial division or division ng polynomial, so pwede rin tayo synthetic division. Ano? So, gamitin pa rin natin yung ating x plus 1. Okay? Then, let's write the coefficients of variable x. So, para descending order yan. Ano? So, x cubed, x squared, x, din yung ating constant. Ano? So, meron tayo ngayong mali. Okay. So, sulat natin coefficient ng x cubed, that is 1. Then, yung ating x squared, that is negative 2. Then, yung ating x ay negative 1. At yung ating constant ay 2. Tapos, yung gagamitin natin na divisor, yung 1. Ano? So, pansinin, ano, tandaan. Kapag ka ang iyong sign dito ay hindi mo binago, ang operation mo ay subtraction. Pero kung yan ay yung babaguhin, ang gagawin mong negative ito, kung mag-negative ka dyan, so magiging addition na ang iyong operation. Pero dito sa problem, so huwag natin baguhin, ano? So subtraction ng operation natin. So bring down 1. So 1 times 1, we have 1. So negative 2, so minus tayo. So minus 1, that is equal to negative 3. Then negative 3 times 1, we have negative 3. So negative 1 or plus, so magiging plus na kasi negative magiging plus. So negative 1 plus 3, that is equal to positive 2. Then 2 times 1, that is 2. So 2 minus 2, that is equal to 0. Okay, so we have x squared, x, and yung ating constant. So we have x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, yan yung ating isang factor. Kung papansin nyo, nagkamukha na siya dito. Okay? So, meron din namang isang paraan pa para mabilis. So, pantest ito kung yung naisip mong factor ay factor nga ng ating tawag din ng ating equation. So, halimbawa, So, x plus 1 pa rin tayo. X plus 1, halimbawa, sinabi natin yan. Tingin ko, ito yung factor niya na isa. Di ba? So, x plus 1. So, using our remainder theorem, so, para makuha, okay, so, x minus r tayo dyan, Ang sabi, sa using factor theorem, so, factor theorem. So, i-equate natin yung ating naisip na factor sa x minus r. Then, yung sabi sa factor theorem, yun daw ating equation, if we are going to substitute r, or if we are going to make that equation a function of r, that is equal to 0, or ang f of r natin, Ibig sabihin, yung makukuha mong value ng r dito sa dalawa, or sa equation, so kapag ka ipinasok mo doon sa iyong quadratic or doon sa iyong cubic equation or any equation yan, so ang sabi, magiging equal siya sa 0. Okay, so x plus 1 tayo, solve natin. So solving for r, we cancel both, inawan natin x plus 1 is equal to x minus r. So ito isang tool lang sa pag-check ng factor, kung factor nga siya ng iyong equation. So cancel x, same sila sa magkabila. Then we have negative r is equal to 1. Then you multiply both sides by negative 1. So you have r is equal to 1. Okay, so yung r na yan ngayon, pasok natin dito. So we have x cubed minus 2x squared plus 2 is equal to 0. So, palitan natin, we substitute 1, then we have 1 cubed minus 2 times 1 squared plus 2 is equal to 0. Solving, we have 1 minus 2, okay, plus 2. Parang may kulang. Ayun, may kulang nga. Okay, eraser lang ng konti. Sabi na may kulang eh. Okay. So, we have negative 2x squared minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. Then this one will be minus 1 plus 2 equals 0. So simplifying, 1 cubed, 1 minus 2 times 1 squared, that is 2 minus 1 plus 2 is equal to 0. So we have, negative 2 plus 2, ayun, cancel, 1, 1, 1, negative 1, so 0 is equal to 0. So ibig sabihin, yung ating napili na x plus 1 ay factor ni x cubed minus 2x squared plus x, minus x plus 2 is equal to 0. So, ayun, pan-check yun, So, from that, pwede mo na ngayon apply sa synthetic division or kaya dun sa division of polynomial. Okay? So, para hindi ka lang yung tawag din, hindi ka trial and error sa mahabang solution. So, dito pa lang sa factor theorem, machi-check mo na kung yan ay factor ng iyong equation, Ang iyong equation ay hindi pwedeng ma-solve ng factoring. So, pwede ka dito sa completing the square. So, paano natin ginagawa? Okay. So, first step, so dapat yung ating coefficient ng x squared, so dapat 1 lang yan. Okay. In order to make that coefficient 1, so we multiply both sides by 1/2, or we divide it by the whole equation by 2. So multiplying the equation by 1/2, okay, so 2x squared times 1/2, we have x squared. Then negative 3x times 1/2, we have negative 3x over 2. Then negative 9 times 1/2, that is negative 9 over 2 is equal to 0. Then next step, you transpose the constant to the right side. So we have x squared minus 3 halves x is equal to positive 9 over 2. Then, you get the coefficient of x. So, ang coefficient natin dyan ay negative 3 halves, ano? Yung coefficient ng ating x. Then, you divide it by 2. Okay? Or we multiply it by 1 half. So, we have now negative 3 halves times 1 half. That is equal to negative 3 over 4. Okay? Then you get the square of the half of the coefficient of x. You add it to the both sides of the equation. So plus, okay, yung square daw nung half nung coefficient ni x. So we have negative 3 over 4 quantity squared. Then both sides siya, no? Dadagdagan natin. So we have negative 3 over 4 quantity squared. So bakit nag-add tayo ng 3 over 4 squared? So dahil both sides natin siyang in-add para ma-manipulate natin. At syempre, pag nagma-manipulate tayo, dapat kung ano yung idadagdag mo sa kanan, yun din yung sa kaliwa. Kanan, yun din yung sa kaliwa, no? So para, di ba kapag ganito ang ating equation, di ba kinakancel na lang natin to? So meaning, para ka lang nag-add ng 0. Pero, na-manipulate, using that technique, na-manipulate mo ng iyong equation, ano? So, dapat consistent. So, pansinin ngayon yung ating equation sa left side. So, siya ngayon ay naging perfect square na. Kasi, halimbawa, kung if we have x minus 3 over 4, yan, x minus 3 over 4. So, if we multiply it, okay, with x minus 3 over 4, anong kalalabasan? So, x squared. So, we have negative 3 over 4 x. Then, negative 3 over 4x times x. So, we have negative 3 over 4x. So, negative 3 over 4 times negative 3 over 4, that is, okay, square lang natin, ano? So, plus negative 3 over 4 squared, no? Okay, square natin. Then, itong term na to, pansinin, ano, kung ano mangyayari. So, negative 3 over 4 plus minus negative 3 over 4, that is equal to negative 2 times 3 over 4. X. So simplifying, we have negative 3 over 2x. Okay, napansin? Parehas nun. So meaning, kaya natin ginagawa yung, kinukuha natin yung coefficient ni x, then dinidivide natin sa 2, tapos i-square natin, i-add natin sa both sides para yung ating equation ay maging perfect square. Okay, yun ang ating target. Okay, ginawa na natin ngayong square, yung perfect square yung ating left side. Then itong ating right side, pwede natin i-simplify. So we have now, so x minus 3 over 4. So perfect square na daw yan. Okay, squared na siya, no? So we equals 9 over 2 plus, so plus na kasi, negative 3. Negative times negative, positive. So negative 9, positive 9 over 16. Then, we simplify that. We have, so, gawin natin 16 ng kanyang LCD. So, 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times 9, that is 72. So, plus 16 divided by 16, that is 1. So, we have 1 times 9, 9. Then, dito, x minus 3 over 4 pa rin, quantity squared. So, this one will be equal to 81, ano? 81 na siya ngayon. Then, we square both sides, or we get the square root of both sides. So, mawala na square na to. X minus 3 over 4 ka na dyan. Then, you have square root of 81, that is 9. Then, square root of 16, that is 4. Then, you transpose, in order to solve for x, you transpose negative 3/4. So, you have x is equal to 9 over 4 plus 3 over 4. So, you have x is equal to 9 plus 3, that is equal to 12 over 4, or simply 3. So, yun pala ang factor ng ating equation. So, para manlaman mo kung tama yung sagot mo, So, palit natin, ano? So, we have 2x squared minus 3x minus 9 is equal to 0. So, dapat mag-equal sila, no? So, mag-equal sa 0. So, palitan natin yung x. So, 2 times 3 squared minus 3 times 3 minus 9 is equal to 0. So, 2 times 3 squared, that is 18 minus 9 equals 0. So, we have 18 minus 9, that is 0 is equal to 0. So, nag-equal sila, no? Ibig sabihin, tama yung sagot mo na 3. Then, we apply again to another problem. So, we have 9x squared minus 12x plus 1. So, kung marunong ka naman factor, may isip mo na hindi pwede, no? So, you divide both sides by 2, or we multiply it to 1/2. So, you have now, sorry, medyo may mali tayo. Okay. In order to make the coefficient of x squared 1, you divide the whole equation by 9 or multiply it by 1 over 9. So, dito nakadepende, no? Di ba? So, we have now x squared, then negative 12 over 9x plus 1 over 9 is equal to 0. So, dito pala pwede mo na i-simplify ito. So, you have x squared minus, so common factor ay 3. So, we have 4 thirds x. Then, lipat natin to. So, we have negative 1 over 9. Then, we get the half of this term, ano? O yung coefficient ng x. So, we have negative 4 over 3. We get the half. So, that is equal to negative 2 over 3. So, yun yung kalahati niya. Then, we add both sides. The square of that half. Okay, so we have negative 2 over 3 quantity squared. Then, dito rin sa kabila, ano? Okay. So, now, we have a perfect square again. Anong gagawin natin? So, we have x minus 2 over 3 quantity squared is equal to, okay, negative 1 over 9 plus 4 over 9. So, simplifying this, we have 3 over 9. Same sila ng denominator, add lang ng numerator. So, we have 3 over 9, or simply, we have 1 over 3. Then, you get the squares of, or you get the square root of both sides. Ito na lang square na, get natin square root. Then, we have x minus 2 thirds is equal to, okay, so square root of 1 over 3. So, this one, you can simplify this. So, you have x is equal to 2 over 3 plus square root of 1/3. Okay. Now, since nakuha na natin to, pwede pa ba natin simplify? Pwede pa. Okay, so yung ating 2/3, okay, yung ating square root of 1/3, so pwede natin gawing 1 over square root of 3. Simplifying this, we have, okay, kunin natin yung mga LCD na yan. So, we have 3 square root of 3 as LCD. Then, we divide square root of 3 square root of 3 by 3. So, we have 2 square root of 3 plus 3. Okay. Then, pwede ba natin i-simplify yan? Pwede pa. So, we can multiply the numerator and denominator. We can rationalize the answer. So, we can multiply it by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So, we have 2 times square root of 3 times square root of 3, that will be equal to 3. Then, plus 3 square root of 3 all over 3 times square root of 3 times square root of 3. Mawala lang square root. So, we have 3. Then, x is equal now to 6 plus 3 square root of 3 all over 9. Or simply, pwede pa natin simplify? Yes, pwede. So, common term natin, 3. So, factor out natin yung 3 sa 6 plus 3 square root of 3. So, we have 2 plus square root of 3 all over 3 times 3, di ba? So cancel yung 3. So we have now x is equal to 2 plus square root of 3 over 3. So ito ngayon yung ating sagot. So let's try ngayon kung tama ba. Okay? So substituting the answer here. So we have 9 times 2 plus square root of 3 over over 3 squared minus 12 times 2 plus square root of 3 times all over 3 plus 1 is equal to 0. Simplify natin, ano? So 9 magiging square to, so magiging 9 din, ano? So cancel na yung 9. So ito na lang ngayon. So square natin tong term na to. So 4 plus 4 square root of 3 plus 3 minus, so ito 12, 4. So magiging 4. Ito magiging 4 na lang, ano? So 4 times 2, that is 8. So we have negative 8. 4 times square root of 3, that is negative 4 square root of 3 plus 1 is equal to 0. So checking na tayo dito, no? So pansinin yung mga terms, ano? So 4 square root of 3 parehas. Then you have 4 plus 3 minus 8 plus 1 is equal to 0. So 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 1, that is 8 minus 8, that is equal to 0. So 0 equals 0. Ibig sabihin, tumama tayo sa sagot natin na 2 plus square root of 3 all over 3 ang factor ng ating equation or ng element niya. Okay. Then, solution by quadratic formula. So let's derive first the quadratic formula. No? So we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay. So kagaya nung ginawa natin, by completing the square, i-derive natin yung quadratic formula. So we divide the whole equation by a. Or we multiply the whole equation with 1 over a. So we have x squared plus b all over a x plus c over a is equal to 0. Then we get the half of this coefficient. So we have b over, so yung 1/2 niya ay 2a. Then we add the half of both sides of the equation of the squares of the half of this coefficient. Then we transpose this. So we have now x squared plus b over ax plus yung square nito. So we have b all over 2a squared plus or equal to negative c over a. So transpose lang natin c over a. Then we add also the square of b over 2a squared. Then this is now a perfect square. Also, kagaya lang sa ginawa natin. So perfect square na ngayon siya. So we have x plus b over 2a quantity squared is equal to, okay, so negative c over a plus b squared all over 4a squared. Okay, now let's get the square root of both sides. So we have, so ito pwede natin pag-isahin to. So we have now x plus b over 2a, that will be equal to square root of, okay, so kukunin natin yung yung LCD. So we have 4a squared. Diba? Then we divide 4a squared by a. So 4a squared divided by a, that is equal to 4a. Then times negative c, that is negative 4ac. Plus 4a squared divided by 4a squared, that is 1. Then we multiply to b squared, that is equal to b squared. Okay? So we have now x is equal to, okay, transpose natin to, negative b over 2a plus or minus square root of, okay, so negative 4ac. Okay, ayusin natin, baka mali to. So unahin natin yung b. So we have b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. So this one is our quadratic formula. So pwede pang i-reduce yan into, so we have x is equal to negative b over 2a plus or minus square root of uh, b squared minus 4ac. So yung ating 4a squared pwede natin ilabas, so magiging 2a. Ilalabas natin yung square root. So we have x is equal to, since common yung denominator, pwede natin sila pag-isahin. So we have negative 2a denominator, then we have negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, yun lang naman yun. Ganun lang siya kadali. Yun yung ating quadratic formula. Then we can apply that to problems. Pero balikan natin pala completing the square. So pansinin dito, nag-completing the square tayo. So dito, bali dalawa rin lang yung makukuhang roots, nalimutan ko palang sabihin. Dito sa ating unang example. So tingnan natin dito, so x minus 3 over 4. Nung ito nilabas natin sa square root, so meron kang positive or negative dyan. So meron ka ngayong dalawang roots, x sub 1, so we have negative 3 over 4. Pag inilipat mo yung negative 3 over 4, that is positive na, So we have 3 over 4 plus 9 over 4, So that is equal to 12 over 4, that is equal to 3. Then yung isa mo naman, x sub 2, that is equal to, so 3 over 4 minus 9 over 4. So we have 3 minus 9, that is equal to negative 6 over 4. That will be equal to negative 3 halves. Okay? So pwede yung ganun, Now, let's try. So na-try natin yung 3. Na-try natin siya, di ba? So i-try natin yung negative 3 halves, okay? So we have, okay, so sundan lang natin ulit yung equation na yan. So 2 times negative 3 half, so squared, minus 3 times negative 3 halves, minus 9 is equal to 0. Tingnan natin kung mag-i-equal, So we have, so square nito ay 9 over 4, diba? So ito magiging 4, may 2 ka doon. So cancel na yung 2. So magiging 9 halves na rin, And then negative times negative will be positive. So 9 over 2, okay? Minus 9 is equal to 0. So we have 2 9 halves, So 2 times 9 halves, kasi dalawa, 9 halves plus 9 halves, that will be equal to 2 9 halves. Then yung cancel 2. Then minus 9 is equal to 0. So ang tira na lang dito, so 9. So 9 minus 9 is equal to 0. Okay, so that will be also a factor. So ganun siya, Dalawa nga pala, sorry, nalimutan ko lang. Okay. So ganun din dito sa part na ito. So saan ba tayo naggaling, So ito, So this one is positive or negative. Okay, same lang din. So magkakaroon ka ngayon dyan, okay, isa mong roots, di ba? So isa mo, x sub 1 is equal to 2 plus square root of 2 over 3 plus 1 over square root of 3. Di ba dyan ka nang galing? Then naging ganito siya. 2 plus square root of 3. Maganda pa i-solve natin. Okay, so di ba meron kang 2 over 3 plus 1 over square root of 3. Yan yung ating x sub 1. Then x sub 2, dito siya. 2 over 3 minus 1 over square root of 3. So ito, simplify lang natin. So meron tayo ngayong, okay, di ba, nanggaling tayo dito, 3 square root of 3 times square root of 2 times square root of 3. Then plus, ito naman magiging 3. Okay? If you're going to rationalize this one, multiply square root of 3, square root of 3 over square root of 3. So ito, distribute lang natin. So we have 2 times 3 plus 3 times square root of 3. Then, ito naman, 3 times 3. So pwede mo na agad i-factor out yung 3 since common sila, Meron sa taas, meron sa baba. Ayun, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you have now 2 plus square root of 3 over 3. Okay? So, yun yung isa mong x. Or dito naman, 2 over 3 minus 1 over square root of 3. So, diba nire-write ko? Buisit na yun. Naantok na ako. Okay. So, yung ating 3 over square root of 3 na LCD. So, ito, may 2 times square root of 3 minus, okay, dito naman, 3. So, dahil square root of 3 square root of 3 divided by square root of 3, that will be equal to 3 times 1. So, negative 3. So, simplifying this, or rationalizing this one, we have square root of 3 over square root of 3. So, same lang. So, 2 times 3 minus 3 square root of 3. Diba? All over 3 times, okay, square root of 3 times square root of 3, that will be equal to 3. Okay? So, cancel na yung 3. Kasi may common, di ba? So, we have 2 minus square root of 3 all over 3. Okay, yun yung dalawa mong roots. Okay? Nalimutan ko lang sabihin na kapag ka nag-square root ka, positive or negative yon. Okay? So, let's back to the... Okay. Balik na tayo sa quadratic formula. So now let's use the same problem, but this time we're going to apply it by quadratic formula. So kung papansinin natin, yung ating quadratic formula ay negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Pansinin no, plus or minus ko dyan. Ibig sabihin, dalawa rin lang yung roots x sub 1 at x sub 2. Kasi nga, ang iyong exponent ay 2. Ano? Highest degree mo, 2. So, for x sub 1, so we use negative b. So, negative b natin. So, negative. Tapos yung ating b, negative 3. Plus square root of b squared. O, b squared natin is negative 3 squared. Minus 4 times a natin is 2. Then, yung c natin ay negative 9. Okay? Then, all over 2 times a natin ay 2. So, we have negative times negative, so positive 3 plus square root of, so ito, so magiging 9 minus 4 times 2, that is 8 times negative 9, so we have positive 72 all over 3 over 2, 2 times 2, that is equal to 4. So we have now 3 plus 9 plus 72 is 81, square root niya ay 9. So we have 3 plus 9 over 4. Then, simplifying, we have 3 plus 9, 12. Then, divided by 4, that is equal to 3. So, yun yung ating x sub 1. So, kung papansinin, parehas lang nakuha natin dito. Ayun. Saan ba? Ito. Parehas lang nakuha natin. Ito yung dalawang roots natin, di ba? 3 and negative 3 up. So, try naman natin sa isa. So, x sub 2 natin ngayon. So, we have, okay, so dito tayo na, palitan lang natin to sign na to, no? Same lang din naman. So, we have now 3 minus square root of 81 all over 4. So, that is equal to x sub 2 is equal to negative 3 minus 9 all over 4. So, we have negative 6 all over 4. Simplifying that, x sub 2 is equal now to negative 3 over 2. Yun. Pasok. Magkamukha ba? So, magkamukha, ano yung nakuha natin? Yun. Negative 3 halves. Okay. Ano mas madali? Ano? Sensya na medyo magulo yung solution kasi mina-mouse ko lang. Okay. So, ito naman. Apply natin ulit yung quadratic formula. So, x sub 1 is equal to negative b. Okay. Plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, ating negative b, so we have negative times negative 12 plus square root ng b squared, so negative 12 squared minus 4 times yung ating a, 9 times c, 1. So, mabilis lang tayo kasi ito ay review lang naman. Kasi nakuha naman na natin ito dati. So, 2 times a, yung a natin ay 9. Okay. So, we have, so negative times negative, so positive 12 plus square root of 12 times 12, that is 144. So take note that that is a negative. So negative times negative is positive. Then we have 4 times 9 times 1, that is equal to negative 36. So all over 2 times 9, that is equal to 18. So we have 18 here. So we have 12 plus square root ng ating 144 minus 36, that is equal to 108 all over 18. So ito pwede nating i-divide sa tatlo. Try natin So 108 divided by 3, that is equal to, so 3 times 3, 9. So 18. Ayun. So dalawa to, So pwedeng 12 plus square root of 3 times 36, So pwede natin ilabas yung 36. Ayun. 18. So we have, so 12. So 12 plus, so labas natin 36. Square root of 36 ay 6. So 6 times square root of 3, matitira. And we have 18. So simplifying this, so common term natin, or pwede natin factor out yung 6. So 12 divided by 6 is 2, di ba? 2 plus square root of 3. Then 18 divided by 6, that is 3. Di ba? So cancel na yung 6. So ang matitira sa atin, 2 plus square root of 3 all over 3. Okay, so galing dyan, pwede na natin dito i-negative para makuha natin isa. So x sub 1, So we have x sub 2 is equal to 12 minus, so 3 times 36, di ba? Square root of 3 times 36 all over 18. So we have 12 minus, okay, factor ang square root natin yung 36. We have 6 times square root of 3 all over 18. So same lang, factoring out 6. So we have 2 minus square root of 3 all over 3. So that would be our x sub 2. Okay, yun lang.